Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining. This is Rochelle Scouten, Development Director at the NBDA. We are happy to have you with us, and we are happy to have another great presentation for you. Hopefully, you'll get some great takeaways, and you'll, have some great opportunities from this webinar. We're really excited about it. So, without further ado, I would like to welcome Michele and Jennifer from Celerant. Thanks for being with us.
Hi, Rochelle. Thank you. So thank you, everybody, for joining. Today, we're going to talk about owning your local community with a local digital strategy. So some quick introductions. First, my name is Michele Salerno. I head the marketing team here at Celerant, and I work out of our New York office. I've been with the company for almost 16 years. And then Jen?
I'm Jennifer Chang. I'm the social media and SEO manager. I've been with Celerant for a little over a year, and I work out of our Georgia office.
Thank you. So we'll get right into it. We have lots to talk about today. A lot has changed this past year, and so we want to talk about your digital strategy and really how there's all these different aspects to your digital strategy and how they all come together to work together. So how to own your local community. So this past year, it's no secret, a lot has changed. Competition is at an all-time high, especially from big box competitors. And so it's critical to incorporate a comprehensive digital marketing strategy. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Hopefully a lot of what we talk about, you may already be doing, maybe not all of it, but parts of it. And in some cases, this may just be some great reminders. And even if you walk away from today's session with one or two new things or new things that you haven't done, then that'll be a success. So today we're going to talk about quite a few things. First, we're going to talk about beginning your digital strategy with e-commerce. And then we'll talk about search engine optimization, SEO, with a strong focus on local SEO. And then, of course, since we're talking about your local community, let's talk about buy online, same day in-store pickup or curbside pickup or both. And we'll talk about social media, how you can connect with your audience, expand your customer base, and of course, sell even on social. And then regardless of how these customers are coming to your site, whether it's through local SEO or social media or search engines, you want to send the right messages and the right emails to them to keep them coming back. So first, let's talk about e-commerce. So I actually read a stat somewhere that moving into 2021, 40% of SMB retailers still did not have e-commerce. And to me, that's just a staggering percentage, that 40% still didn't have e-com. And of the 60% that do have e-commerce, the majority of their sites are outdated and in significant need of like a site revamp or a refresh. So, step one to starting any digital strategy, of course, is launching or relaunching or revamping your e-commerce site. So the good news is, in today's world, it's actually a lot easier and faster to launch a new e-commerce site. So if you're part of that 40%, or you just want to redo your website, the process to do so is actually much easier now with the right technology provider. So depending on who you use for your e-commerce, you can connect to your distributors and your vendors, and you can pull all their product data, their product images, product descriptions, and use all of their data to populate your e-com site. So typically launching a new e-commerce site, the hardest part about it typically is getting all that data. So by leveraging your vendors and taking their data that they have put together really well in most cases, you can take that and your e-commerce technology provider can actually build your site for you using all your vendors' data. So you can go live much faster. So once you have your e-commerce site or you've revamped your site, you want to, of course, make sure that you're offering BOPIS, which is buy online, pick up in-store same day. So it could either be in-store pickup or curbside pickup, but either way, it's the concept of buying online and picking it up that day. So depending on your customers, you may have had some customers that were physically in your store this entire year, or hopefully if you were able to be open the whole year. But then you're going to have other customers who just aren't comfortable, coming back to the store, or maybe they're hesitant. So the next best thing to being in the store and buying in the store is ordering online and being able to pick it up the same day or having it delivered. And so, being able to offer those on your website and actually showing them front and center on your homepage is really important. A reminder, one of your biggest advantages over a big box merchant is your personalized customer service. So when your customers come in the door, hopefully they know your name, you know their name, you're going to give them true customer service through and through. And you can actually try to replicate that on your e-commerce site by doing things like virtual consultations, online classes, having maybe a live chat where you can interact and help guide your customers through your e-commerce site as well. So next we're going to talk about search engine optimization, or SEO. And this, of course, is Jennifer's specialty. So first, let's look at a few stats. 29% search for a local business at least once a week. I probably do it once a day. 86% of people look up a business on Google Maps. 50% of near me searches result in a store visit. So that means if someone's typing into Google bike shops near me, 50% of those people who search that are going to show up at your store. And then a staggering 78% of local mobile searches result in an in-store purchase. So these stats are really important just to show you how important it is to make sure that you're showing up on Google and other search engines when your local potential or existing customers are doing searches. So let's start with what is SEO, just for those of you who don't know. Search engine optimization. So basically, the search engines rely on the website owners for content. And so it's your responsibility as the e-commerce owner to provide that content. So that's why I always say launching your e-commerce site is really only step one. You have to continuously be making improvements to your e-commerce site, updating copy, unique copy. You can't have the exact same copy as all your competitors, because then in the eyes of Google, it's not going to be unique content. So things like adding on a blog, continuously adding blog posts, or even having guest bloggers, just new content, fresh content with relevant keywords, and continuously updating your site so that Google will have a better time crawling it and show your site in more search results. So the goal of SEO is to increase the quality and quantity of web traffic and exposure of your brand via non-paid organic search results. Because ultimately anybody can pay to be on page one, and that's a PPC, a pay-per-click, say a Google campaign. But in some cases, you'll be paying, depending on the vertical or the keyword, you'll be paying anywhere from $5 to $15 or even $20 per click. So the goal is to get to Google page one organically or free, and that's done by SEO. So, I mean, why is this important? We kind of already covered that, right? So, this past year has shown us why, especially local SEO is more important now than ever before. Shoppers are changing. The ways they're shopping are changing. Different retailers are acquiring brand new customers. A dedicated customer may totally switch who they're buying from just because of everything that's happened this past year and the fulfillment options that are available or maybe not available. So now is a great time to make sure that everything that Jen goes through, you're, taking notes and making sure that everything is up to speed for your site. So first we'll look at your Google listing. So if you Google bike shops near me, does your business show up? Is your address correct? If not, you need to claim your listing. And if your listing is not complete, you need to make sure to go ahead and not just claim it, but also update your listing and also continuously update it. So Google Maps is considered one of the most important aspects of local SEO. So Jen, I'm going to flip it over to you if you want to go through some steps in how to publish your Google listing.
Sure. So the first step in creating your Google My Business is that you want to make sure that you complete your profile all the way. It's really important that you include your name, address, and phone number on there, as well as logo and photos. You also want to make sure that you update your hours, especially around the holidays or any special events. You want to post COVID-19 policies you may have and any important information. You also want to make sure that your name, address, and phone number stays consistent on your social media accounts, your Google My Business, and on your actual location page on your website. And I would also recommend to include directions on your location page on your website as well as your social media, because that really helps with local SEO.
So Jen, quick question. How can someone claim their listing if they haven't already done so? What are the steps to do that?
So you can search your business name into Google, and if it already has a listing, it'll come up, and then right below the store hours and the description, it'll say something like claim your business ? And you click on that, and then you just follow the prompt, and you can go through the steps to claim your business.
Got it.
You also want to make sure that you take advantage of using the local post. So you can publish, any announcements, any special events that are happening, maybe some offers that you are promoting for, the month. You also want to make sure that you add products to your catalog that gives your customers a better understanding of what your store offers.
And so if they're adding products to the catalog, how does that help them with Google as far as, shoppers going to Google searching for specific products?
They can actually purchase directly from your website through Google My Business, if that makes sense. So if you, post a bike, they can click on it and it leads them directly to your website, and it makes the purchase, it just makes it a lot easier to purchase from your website.
Yeah, so by actually adding your product images and your pricing and your photos and everything through Google My Business, your website will come up in more search results when customers are shopping or potential customers are shopping, and then it'll link them right to your website direct, all through Google My Business.
Yeah.
Okay.
You also want to make sure that you also want to make sure that you are responding to your customer reviews. Google likes to see that you're staying active in your Google My Business. So by responding to customer reviews, it actually will help your visibility in search results.
Yeah, and I can't stress this enough that this is really, really important. And I know when we look at online reviews, sometimes it can be really stressful because you're always going to have a customer who wants to go on there and just rip you apart. And unfortunately, that's, it's inevitable. But what's most important is that you're responding to each and every review, even the ones that may give you 1 star, showing them that you're responsive, showing potential customers that you're responsive, maybe explaining yourself or just providing some sort of better customer service for them. But also Google wants to see that you're responding, and the more content that you post onto Google and the more reviews and the more responses, it just all helps come together when it comes to Google search results.
And these are some tools that can help improve your ranking. Google Search Console is really helpful to making sure that your website is being crawled and indexed. Google Page Speed is a great tool to test how fast your site is, and it will also let you know if there's anything slowing down your website, so you can know what you need to fix. Google Trends is great to discover new keywords that users are searching for. Google Analytics is great to see who's visiting your website and where they're coming from. It's also a great way to see where your customers are bouncing from for bounce rates. So if you need to change content, on certain pages, you can do that.
And
Google
just so
Alert.
everyone knows, sorry, just so everyone knows. So if you're using Google Analytics and you're looking at the bounce rate, so the bounce rate, for those of you who don't know, means visitors are coming to your webpage and then they're leaving right away. So they're leaving
Yep.
because they're not finding what they want. So it's important to be aware of which pages you're getting a really, really high bounce rate for, so that you can go in and maybe modify the content or just check out what's happening. Maybe something's broken or wrong with the page, because your goal is to have, you know, low bounce rates. People, you actually want them to stay on your website, of course.
Thank you, Michelle. And Google Alerts is also really a great tool to use to see if any articles or publications are being written about your business. If anyone's talking about your business, it's good to stay up to date.
Yeah, and can you talk, I think that there was something you were telling me yesterday about the Google page speed, that Google switched something recently or announced something recently that's really important with page speed.
Yes. So in June, they're going to be using Core Web Vitals. So that's going to be really important for SEO. So if your page speed is slow, that's going to affect your SEO. So using Google page speed is going to be really important in making sure that your site is running properly and that there's no issues on mobile and desktop.
Yeah, and when you use that tool, it'll give you, I think, a green light or a red light or a yellow light. So green is good, and you want to make sure that
Yep.
all your pages are loading quickly, because that will, come June, start to affect your organic rankings. So it's all really much intertwined. And, you know, take a snippet of this slide, because all of these Google tools are free.
Oh,
So
yes.
you don't
Yep.
have to pay to use any of them. And if you're not using them, you know, we really recommend that you take advantage of all of them to help with your overall digital plan. All right, so a quick customer spotlight. So D&D Texas Outfitters, they've been a client of ours at Celerant for quite a while, since 2013. They have 2 huge stores in Texas. They have e-commerce, and they're using, of course, all our digital marketing services. But the reason why I wanted to show them as this spotlight is they have a really, really great Google My Business profile. So you can see, if you go to Google and search their name, you'll see all of it. But this snippet, you can see they have a nice photo. You can see their map is there. They have almost 600 Google reviews, and luckily they have an average of 4.5, which is really good. They have a clear business description, updated hours. They have their COVID health statement, mask required, staff required to disinfect surfaces between visits. You can click more details and read more. And then they have contact details, phone number, and etc. So it's important to always make sure everything's up to date. It's also really important to update your holiday hours, because, you know, in today's world, people aren't calling the stores. They're going to Google, and they want everything they need on the web page. So they don't want to have to call the store. So if your hours say there's something and then they drive to the store and you're closed, you're going to end up with pretty annoyed customers. So really important to keep everything up to date. So next, let's talk about social media. We're going to talk about social engagement and also social selling. So first, even if you're not ready to be fully social, it's important to make sure that you go and you get the profile names that you want that best represent your business. So this is a client of ours called Omega Sports. And so you can see they have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Those are the top 5 really that we recommend. And you can see their name for each of them is Omega Sports NC. So even if you're not ready to start really engaging on social, it's good to get the profile name so that you have them when you are. But, you know, get social with local. You want to really use social media as a platform to connect with your local community and even beyond your local community, really for both. But staying connected, especially this past year, building your audience, staying top of mind. You know, people have been scrolling through social media more now than ever, of course, because they're home. And so, you know, as they're scrolling through, even if you're just making posts, pictures of things happening in your store, videos are great. People really engage with video, and it could even be just something as simple as a smartphone video that you take in the store, whether you're, you know, you could be just filming a quick how-to or a tip and trick, or maybe you're just showing a new COVID policy or something that you're putting into effect in the store. People really resonate with videos. And if you're doing something like how-tos or tips and tricks, you'll see how quickly your social audience starts sharing your posts. And as they share your posts, the people in their audience will see it. And the goal is to get them to follow your page. And the more people you have following your page, then when you're actually posting promotions or sales, then more people will see it. And so Jen's going to talk to us about taking social media to the next step and really social selling.
Yeah, so Facebook, they have Facebook Shop, which is free to use, and it just lets you create an online store on Facebook. And so the customers, they can purchase directly from your site through your Facebook Shop. You can also do Facebook ads, which allows you can target local consumers that way. And you don't have to pay a lot. It can be like, you can do like $5, $10, whatever you want it to be. And you can also offer delivery and in-store pickup, and get social reviews and likes.
Yeah, you know, one thing that we do at Celerant is, you know, because we're really active on social, so we'll post a video or something, and if it's something that we feel is really important, then we'll go on and we'll boost the post. And to boost the post may only cost $5. I think the most we ever paid was $20. But then when you boost it, you're not just sharing it with your audience, you're making sure that it's being seen by so many more people. So, you know, advertising on social media like Facebook is actually really, really affordable, and can get a lot more eyes on your ads. So another quick customer spotlight, Omega Sports, who we introduced a bit earlier. So they are in North Carolina. They have 12 store locations, and they do the local community marketing really, really well. So if you visit their Facebook, they're a great example. Check them out, look at what they're doing. They don't even use their logo. As you can see on this on the Facebook here, they have a hashtag Stay Local Strong. So they market through and through to their local North Carolina community across their 12 stores, and they do a really, really good job of posting tips and tricks, you know, promotions and all that as well, but also they highlight certain athletes, and that's the type of stuff that you're being informative. You're not just being promotional, so that's going to really help you build your audience. So next, let's talk about serving your local customers. We talked a lot about your e-commerce and your social media, and now actually serving those customers locally. So this past year, of course, we're hearing more and more about buy online, pick up in store same day, or pick up curbside. And, you know, frankly, you don't need software to complete the curbside pickup, but when you start to get a lot of orders, it could start to get messy or disorganized. So there is software out there. You know, for example, at Celerant, we have what we call our curbside pickup app. So basically what it does is when an order is placed on your website, the order will automatically flow into the curbside app, which notifies your store associate that there's an order waiting for curbside pickup. So your store associates, they'll prep the order, and once it's ready, they click make it ready for pickup. Once they do that, then your customer gets a text message, or you can set it up to be email as well. What you see here is the text. And so they'll get a text saying your order's ready for pickup. You can tell them to either pick it up at the curb or the parking lot or wherever you want to direct them to come. And then when you arrive, they can click on the link. So then when your customer arrives at the store, they can just click the link within their text message. And as soon as they do that, it will alert the store associate in the store that your customer's waiting at the curb. So, you know, all of this can be accomplished with phone calls as well, but this just makes it a little bit more seamless. And, you know, once you start to have a lot of orders, this can make it much more a streamlined approach. And, you know, while everything's opening and, you know, luckily things are starting to seem to go back to normal, I'm going to predict that things like this, like curbside pickup, buy online, pick up in store same day, these new fulfillment methods are not going away. I do believe that they're here to stay. And so, you know, customers have come to get accustomed to these new fulfillment approaches, and they have these new expectations, which I think will continue moving forward. So another quick customer spotlight. I love these. Mass General Store. So they have 11 stores. They're also in North Carolina, and South Carolina, Tennessee, and Virginia. So they have 11 stores plus e-commerce. So you can imagine when you have 11 store locations, buy online, pick up in store same day can get challenging, because the worst thing you can do is sell something on your website and have a customer come to your store to pick it up that day and you don't have it in stock in that store location. So in this example, they masked on their website, they mark it right from the front that you can, right on the homepage, that you can do same day curbside pickup. When you click on that, it brings you to a new page on their site. You can see here the 11 stores are listed. And then you would just click which store location you want to shop from. As soon as you click shop that store, the website is going to show you only the products that are currently available in that store location. So basically, behind the scenes, the way the technology works is the e-commerce site is integrating with the point of sale at the store location. So it's only pulling the products that the point of sale database shows are currently in stock in that location. So in all actuality, it's 11 little mini e-commerce sites. So depending on which store location the customer's clicking on, they're only going to see the products that are currently available. So then, of course, you can just process the sale. You can choose to have them pay at the curb, or of course, pay online, whichever you prefer, and then process that, that sale when they come into the store, whether in the store or at the curb. So another great way to get new local customers into your store, we talked about your e-commerce site. We talked about social media. And another really good way of doing this is selling your products on the major brand's website. So you might have seen Trek and Locally made their announcement, I think about a month or so ago. So Locally is a partner that we've been working with for probably over a year. And so the major brands hire Locally to manage their local dealers. So if you wanted to sell your bikes, your Trek bikes or your accessories, tires, etc., on the Trek major brand website, you can do so by having an integration to Locally. Your point of sale pushes your inventory daily to Locally, and then Locally takes that and they post it on Trek's website. So if a customer or a potential customer is looking on the Trek website, and they can order it and they can wait 3 or 4 or 5 days or however long it takes to get, or they can click pick up locally today. And then you see there's different bike shops that carry that in stock currently. So your bike shop can show there, and how that happens is through the integration with Locally. So check with your point of sale provider if they integrate with Locally. And if they do, typically it's a value add. So it doesn't cost anything. It doesn't cost anything with Locally. For us, our Celerant clients, it doesn't cost anything. So hopefully, with your point of sale provider as well, it would be a free service and a great way to get your products selling on the major brand's website for local in-store pickup. And then of course, any new customers that come into your store, you want to try to turn them into customers for life. So going back to your customer service and upselling them, and then of course, capturing their information like their email address and being able to email market to them long-term is the goal. So email marketing. So I'm going to take a pause. Now we don't have a survey tool on this webinar platform, but quick question for everybody on today's session. So what type of email marketer are you? So there's A, I don't send emails to my customers. Let's hope you're not that one. B, I send general emails to my entire contact list. Or C, I send personalized emails based on customer buying patterns and demographics. So I'm going to assume that most people on this session are going to answer B. I send general emails to my entire contact list. And so that's good because you're sending emails and you're marketing out to your customers. But sending mass emails to your entire list is not nearly as effective as sending personalized messages based on past purchases and personal preferences. So in fact, sending personalized emails delivers 6 times higher transaction rates. So email marketing by far, no matter what type of emails you're sending, is the most cost effective and also just the most effective form of marketing there is. But it's important that you don't want to start turning your customers off. You don't want to be sending them too many emails. You don't want to be sending them emails that are not relevant to them, because then your open rates are going to be affected. Once you start sending personalized emails based on certain triggers or preferences, you're sending the right message to the right person at the right time, your open rates are going to go way up. And like we keep saying, everything's all intertwined. So if your open rates are somewhere around, say, 6, 7, 8%, chances are you're going to be flagged somewhat as spam, and more of your emails will go into spam filters. Whereas if you start to see more 25, 30% open rates, then you're not going to set off those flags, and more of your emails will go into the actual inboxes as opposed to spam. So it's all about email deliverability. So it is all intertwined. So the higher your open rates, the better your chances are of your emails even being received in the first place. Because I can assure you, if they're going into junk or spam, they're not getting opened. And so, by sending those personalized messages, you can increase your open rates and, of course, your overall success. So the trick is, you have to have the right software and you have to have the right technology so that you can do something like this. So most retailers are using, maybe Constant Contact or MailChimp or whatever for emails, and that's good. But if you have an email marketing platform that's integrated with your real-time point of sale and e-commerce data, then you can send those personalized messages based on past purchases and personal preferences. So you can segment your customers, you can personalize those emails, and then you can automate workflows based on triggers. So let me give you a couple examples. So you can get really creative. And if you don't have a marketing team or a marketing person, you can even have this as like a full service where your service provider cannot just provide the platform. Like at Celerant, we provide the email platform, but we also can provide the full service. So we can create the workflows and help you create your promotions and send everything out and provide stats back too. But when you're creating email workflows, there's a lot of work initially putting the workflows together, but once everything's set up, it's just based on triggers. So let's say this trigger is a customer purchases a youth bike. So once your customer purchases that youth bike, you can have it set up where the very next day, they get an automated email thanking them for their purchase and possibly trying to upsell products that match that bike, that specific bike that they purchased. Maybe the helmet or, whatever products may go with that bike. Maybe 1 week later, an automated email can go out asking them for an online review. Now, not only are you asking for an online review, but you want to make sure that the link is there to the web page for that specific product that they bought so that they can then easily click, write the review. And then talking about everything being intertwined, online reviews also help with SEO. So the more online reviews you have on your site, the more Google likes your site. And then, of course, we all know that online reviews help with customer validity and confidence and all of that. So now let's say a couple months later, maybe early spring, an automated email goes out encouraging them to come in and schedule a tune-up. Maybe 2 years later, an automated email can go out offering them an incentive to come in and trade in their youth bike and get an adult bike. So this is just one example. Like I said, you can get as creative as you want, but the key is you're creating workflows initially. You're creating the emails initially, and then once they hit that trigger, and in this case, all they did was buy the youth bike, all these emails will go out automatically to that customer for the duration of your workflows. So another customer spotlight, again, D&D. This is a client we mentioned earlier. So they've done a great job of combining all the sales data from all their channels. They have, like I said, the 2 stores, the e-commerce, they do catalog. And so they really do a good job of tailoring their emails based on customer preferences and purchases. They've also done a really good job of optimizing their e-commerce site and their emails for mobile. So, you know, mobile shopping has been on the rise for years, but this past year especially, as we've seen, it's more important now than ever that your e-commerce and all the emails you're sending are mobile friendly, meaning they shrink to fit any screen size. So their open rates originally were about 8%, and now they're seeing over 25% open rates. And for abandoned cart emails, which you can also set up so that if anybody leaves products in the cart, you can send automated abandoned cart emails encouraging them to come back and complete the order. They're seeing almost 40% open rates. And so one other quick tip. So while the average emails are probably anywhere from say 15 to 25% open rates, transactional emails, we're seeing about 80 to 85% open rates. So what I mean by transactional emails is shipping confirmations or shipping statuses, order confirmations, you know, emails that are sent out post-sale. So those emails you see about 80 or 85%. So why not put some promotional marketing in those transactional emails? If 85% are opening those emails, you know they're reading those emails. So put some more marketing and some more upsell opportunities even into those emails. All right, so bringing it all together. So we talked about quite a few different aspects. First, just to recap, we started with e-commerce and launching your e-commerce site. Then the importance of search engine optimization, especially local, and getting Google and the other search engines to notice you locally. Then connecting with social media, whether it's just connecting and engaging or even social selling. And then regardless of how they're coming to your website or even your brick and mortar store, keep them coming back with email marketing, but specifically personalized email marketing. So the key really is to use the right technology so that you can combine all your digital efforts and hopefully do so with one provider. So quick shameless plug. So at Celerant, you know, we offer all of this. We are an all-in-one retail software for the industry. So, you know, we take pride in being one technology provider for all your needs, whether it's point of sale, inventory, e-commerce, digital marketing, email marketing. You know, we have Jennifer and her whole team of digital experts to help with all the digital side of things. You see a bunch of logos there on the screen. So those are just some different partners that we work with in the industry, whether it's distributors or, you know, third-party rental applications that we integrate with. So, you know, we're definitely, and as hopefully everyone now knows, we're a preferred point of sale and e-commerce provider for the NBDA. So hence why we're here today. So we wanted to save some time for some Q&A. I'm not sure if anyone has used the chat feature to send any questions over. I think Rochelle was gonna check that and let us know if there's any questions.
Yeah, so we have one so far. Everybody, if you have questions, please put them in. We've got a little extra time here. So this one says, can you share any examples of how you've seen people get started with SEO and marketing when they are smaller operations with limited capacity and or knowledge, expertise?
Yeah, so great question. So, you know, at Celerant, we of course launched the e-commerce sites and we provide digital marketing services. So, you know, whether it's the full monthly SEO services or even we offer, you know, kind of like a starter package. So Jen, I'll let you speak on, you know, the SEO kind of starter package, you know, and not necessarily what we do at Celerant, but just tips for someone who's smaller to get started with SEO.
Yeah, sure. So I definitely recommend if you have a storefront, definitely get on Google My Business and take advantage of all the, because Google My Business is free. So I recommend to get Google My Business. Google Merchant Center is also another free tool that you can use. And Google Merchant Center, it works off of your product feed from your website, and that feed gets refreshed daily. So whenever you update new, or if you add new products to your website, that feed will automatically update. And so You don't have to really do anything with that. And Google Merchant Center, it's like when you Google, if you Google bike shop, at the very top, you'll see items at the top of the screen. That's Google Merchant Center. So that's a great thing to use. Again, with Facebook Shop integrates with Instagram Shop as well. Those are two free things that you can use to get more customers to, buy directly from your site. So I would just really take advantage of everything Google and use Facebook Shop and Instagram Shop.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
going back to that slide we showed earlier with all those free Google tools, I think there was like 7 or 8
Yes.
on there.
Yes.
Making sure that your site has been submitted so that Google's properly crawling, making sure there's no issues with any of your pages, because you may not realize that there's issues, but if in using those tools, you'll quickly know. Those tools will tell you if your pages are loading too slow. You may have images or videos or something that may just be too heavy, or maybe like website plugins or something. So you want to really keep a good handle on your page speed, and that's going to become more and more important come June because of Google's announcement with page speed.
Yep.
Perfect. So our next question says, do you integrate with Lightspeed POS? Do you want to kind of talk a little bit more about what Celerant offers?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I was trying not to be too much talking about Celerant. So at Celerant, we offer a complete point of sale software. So it's a complete retail system for both brick and mortar and e-commerce. So we offer point of sale. Our software actually handles the point of sale, the inventory reporting, the purchase orders, the reporting and analysis, your accounting. Of course, we integrate with QuickBooks and all of that, but we don't integrate with Lightspeed because we would be providing a similar service or similar software as Lightspeed in that we offer the point of sale and everything to run the store. But on top of that, we also offer the e-commerce. So in some cases, retailers may be using one point of sale for their store and then using like a disparate system for e-commerce and maybe another system for digital marketing and kind of piecing it all together. Where at Celerant, we offer one system. We're one company, so one service provider. So, if you have questions on your e-commerce or your point of sale or your digital marketing, you're calling one company because we're providing everything.
Perfect.
So that said, just to elaborate on that, so we do integrate with some third-party e-commerce. We do, of course, develop our own e-commerce as well. But if you have like a Shopify e-commerce and you wanted to integrate that integration we do offer with our point of sale.
Great. Okay, so the next one says, currently using Lightspeed, I like what Celerant has to offer. How seamless is the transition? And is there a possibility of data loss in a transition?
Really good question. So what we highly recommend is, we call it a data conversion. So it's an add-on, but it's part of your implementation process. And so we can convert your data for you. So regardless of what system you're currently using, we basically help you. We take that data out of your current system and we import it and clean it up with you. And we import all of your data into our software. So whether it's your product data, your sales history, whatever data you want to bring in, we can help with that data conversion. And as far as the implementation process, you're assigned a dedicated implementation manager. So there'll be like a single point person to help you with the entire project as far as training you on the software and, really everything from the point in which you become a client through your go live.
And how long is that process usually?
So it depends. We actually at Celerant offer 2 platforms. We have our Cumulus retail platform, and then we have our Stratus Enterprise. So we live and breathe in the SMB space. So we're small to mid through and through. Our Stratus platform is really more for the advanced retailer. So if you have multiple stores or you have a need for more advanced technology, then you'll be a Stratus customer. Versus Cumulus is sort of our scaled down version, which is meant to be a lighter platform and more cost effective. So the reason I bring that up is because if you're implementing Cumulus, we can have you live in as little as a week. We do have, like, we call it a 7-day fast track. But typically Cumulus could take anywhere from, I'd say about a month or so. And then Stratus, it can depend. It can be 6 weeks or more, depending on the complexity of the project.
All right, thank you. So We don't have any more questions coming in currently. If people do have questions, if they're either watching the recording or if they think of them afterward, how can they contact you?
Yeah, so I just flipped to the last slide. So we have a really good ebook. It's pretty informative, and it gives a lot more examples of different emails you can create. So I went over just a few, but this is a nice ebook. It has a lot of images and really gives some good examples. So even if you're not looking to switch to Celerant, I recommend you download the ebook just to give you some ideas to better help with your marketing efforts. So www.celerant.com/NBDA-promo. That's where the ebook is. You can download it there. You can also fill out the form on that page. We'll reach out. Or if you want to schedule a one-on-one product demo, you can just email us at sales@celerant.com. I put the phone number there as well.
Perfect. All right. So I think we're done here. Thank you so much for all the great information. I know I was taking notes. I hope some of the retailers were taking notes. Lots of great takeaways. Thank you both for being here. And we look forward to working with you again.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Jen. And thank you, everybody, for joining. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.